Welcome back to the 3D and Pico-8 tutorial series. In the last video we ended up with this, and in this video we're going to texture the walls and it'll end up looking like this. In order to do that we're going to use the T-line function, which allows you to draw a textured line. The textures will be sampled from the map, so we'll have to have a section of our map set aside like this for the textures, and then when we draw our vertical line we'll sample the textures from the map to draw them on the screen. Before we get into that though, I just want to mention a couple of things real quick. First is that I'm using an alternate color palette here. If you want to learn more about that, go watch the video that Christian from the Lazy Devs YouTube channel did on that. If you're watching this, you're probably already subscribed to him, but I just thought I'd mention it anyway. The other thing I wanted to mention is that so far I've been using a panoramic style projection that looks like this. You can see the way the wall curves as it moves away from us. But there's another way of doing it that allows all the lines to be straight, and that looks more like this. I'll show you how to do that real quick. Here's the method we've been currently using with the panoramic style view. We can see the angle that we're looking is directly dependent on the X position of the pixel that we're considering. But if we want to have all of the lines be straight, there's two things we need to do. First, the angle has to be determined based on the position along a straight line rather than the position around a circle. I'm using the arctangent here in order to find that angle. And then we also have to have a factor here, which will be the cosine of A. And then down here, when we're going to draw the line, we have to multiply our distance by that factor in order to end up with the right length of line. And so once you do that, you'll end up with a more traditional style projection with all straight edges. Alright, let's start drawing our textured line now. So the T-line function works just the same as a line function, except instead of a color value, we're going to have 4 values for the texture mapping. The first two will be the coordinate to start sampling from, and the second two will be the amount we're going to add to those coordinates every time we draw a new pixel to find the next sampling location. Remember, we're sampling from the map, so you gotta have your textures laid out in the map somewhere. And these are measured in map tiles, not in pixels. So if we've put, for example, 1/8 in here, there'll be 1/8 of a map tile, or 1 pixel. So what we should see is that this will sample from the top left corner of the texture, and it will move down 1 pixel every time it draws a new pixel on the line. And so that's exactly what we see. It's the same scale everywhere, no matter the length of the line. But we want it to be scaled differently depending on the length of our line. One way we can do this is by plugging in d over h. And if we run this, it's scaled correctly. Why is that? Well, this value here, this offset, is the amount we're going to add to our coordinates every time we draw a new pixel. And when we're done, we want to have gone from the top of the texture to the bottom of the texture, which is at the coordinate of 2, because that's how tall our textures are. So we can say that this offset times the length of our line equals 2. So then, therefore, this offset equals 2 over the length of our line. What's the length of our line? Well, it extends from h over d above the horizon to h over d below the horizon. So the total length is 2 times h over d. So therefore, our offset is 2 over 2 times h over d. The 2's cancel out, leaving us with the inverse of h over d, which is d over h. So that's why this value works. But there's a lot of kind of glitchy, pixelated things going on here because there's fractional values that aren't quite lining up correctly. One way to fix this that I'm going to show you will make things easier for us later on in future videos is to create 2 new variables for the top of the wall and for the bottom of the wall. And these are going to hold the coordinate for the top of our line and for the bottom of our line, respectively. Let's plug those back in. But now what we can do is round these, so we're no longer going to be getting any fractional values. And now for our offset, 2 divided by the length of our line is going to be 2 divided by bw minus tw. And now when we run this, it's the same thing as before, except we're working with all integer values, so there's no weird, glitchy fractional values going on anymore. This looks a lot cleaner. So now that we have our textures scaled correctly in the vertical direction, now we want to make them loop horizontally. And the way we're going to be doing this is we're going to find the endpoint of our ray, and we're going to use that to find the new x-coordinate to start sampling on our texture. And this is going to be different depending on whether it's a vertical or horizontal intersection, because we want to check the y-coordinate or the x-coordinate one way or the other. And we've already made that distinction in our if statements here. So what we can do is just move this whole block of code up into the if statements and then make that distinction there. But I'm just going to make it work in the vertical direction first, and then once we've got it working, we can just swap out the x's and y's and it'll work fine. So the first thing I want to address here is that if we're using a different projection technique, like I showed earlier, we're going to have this factor value be distorting our distance, and we want to be able to use our true distance along the ray in order to calculate the intersection point. So what we're going to just do is just move this calculation into this here. So we can just say divided by factor, and that takes care of the distortion, and now our d variable is free to represent the true distance along our ray. So now we want to find the endpoint of our ray, and use that to determine the x-coordinate to start sampling our texture. So where is the endpoint of our ray? Well, it's at px plus the x-coordinate of our vector times distance. That is where our ray has ended up after traveling d distance in the direction of vx, starting from px. So this will give us our raw coordinate, but we want to loop this between 0 and 1. So we're going to use the modulo operator, modulo 1, and then our texture is 2 units wide, so we'll multiply by 2. And so now we have our texture looping along the x-axis. But we also want to make a distinction between different types of materials. We have that distinction made in the map here. We have the different types of tiles laid out here, and then we have our textures laid out in the same order. So what we can do is just take the map tile that we have and add that to our x-coordinate multiplied by our tile width, and that will just offset the x-coordinate depending on what tile we happen to be intersecting with. So on top of this, we're going to add our map tile that we got, the map tile that we're intersecting with. We want to subtract 1 because our map tiles start at tile 1, but our texture coordinates start at coordinate 0. So we want to subtract 1, and then multiply by 2, because that's the width of our texture. And now when we're on this, we've got the different textures all represented correctly. So now that we've got this working in the horizontal direction, we can copy this whole thing, move it up into our if statement. Now we've got 2 copies of it. And so now if it's a horizontal intersection, we want to instead use the y values here. And then when we run this, it's working on both the vertical and horizontal intersections. So we've now got texturing working in our 3D rendering engine in Pico-8. So that's where I'm going to leave it for this video. Hope you enjoyed, hope you learned something. The demo file for this will be up on my itch.io page if you'd like to take a look at it for yourself. Link in the description. And since you stayed at the end of the video, here's a sneak peek of what we'll be going over next time. We'll be drawing walls of different heights and having them show up behind one another. It's actually not that hard, but there is a significant performance impact that we'll have to address and do some optimization, so you can look forward to that. But that's all I got, so thanks for watching.